Not very long ago, gardening was a real struggle for me. I loved it, but something was just off. I'm not sure how to describe it, except that gardening had started feeling superficial. It was all about me and my personal aesthetic, and that had become a tiring, hollow experience. But all that changed for me, and I got back my excitement for gardening, and I owe it to three simple but extraordinary ideas. This first idea really broke my brain in the very best way. I started learning about the intricate and delicate relationships between plants and all the life that surrounds them. From flowers that bloom in perfect synchronization with the specific bees that can pollinate them, to the shrubs that produce berries with nutrition that's perfectly balanced for the migrating birds that depend on them. I had discovered that the missing piece for me had been connection. Our gardens aren't just pretty spaces we humans have to manage on our own. They're connected to a wide living world, and they can be part of something bigger. Nature needs us, and we need it. If you find yourself in search of depth and connection, I think you'll find your garden will very happily give it. So I started gardening in a way that worked to foster connection. Whoops, that's too much connection. I started learning about the needs of our pollinators and birds, and their needs are vast. We've cleared and altered so much of their natural habitat. Finding enough food now is truly hard for them, and we sadly see that in the population declines we're witnessing for most species.
Oh, that's called a clover.
I know we can't fix that by ourselves, but we can help. So I've started choosing plants not just for their looks, but based on their connection to the birds and insects that need them. And it's been incredible. Right away, I was gifted with so much beautiful life flocking to the garden. Once I witnessed the interconnectedness of plants with the life that surrounds them, I started seeing all the ways that we as humans get in the way of those relationships. So much of conventional gardening is about control, domination, elimination. But what if those things only made gardening harder and less connected? What if our gardens could actually help us to care for them? Instead of stressing so much about control, what if we looked for ways to cooperate? And there are so many ways we can do this. Planting in communities rather than in isolation allows our plants to care for each other. Planting in communities can lead to a more diverse, resilient, and ecologically balanced garden that can start to mimic the natural habitats we're losing. And our soil wants to help us. If we can foster all the complex life that healthy soil should have, it will work in direct cooperation with our plants, helping them access water and nutrients, helping them to survive droughts, helping them to grow measurably faster and stronger. It's absolutely amazing. And insects. Instead of treating insects like a pestilence, we can invite them in all their forms into our gardens. If we can just stay out of their way, they will find their balance of predators to prey, and we'll get to witness their incredible diversity, tenacity, and resourcefulness. Whenever I find one of my plants covered in aphids, I take a deep breath and I go back to check after a few days, and usually there are only a few aphids left, sometimes with a fat ladybug larva resting where the aphids have been. It's easy and understandable to sweat the mosquitoes, but when I see our dragonflies on the job, I rest much easier. And the bats and hummingbirds are massive helpers too. Working to understand how we can cooperate with our garden only deepens our connection to it. And if we can release some control, we might find our gardens will become able to care for themselves again, and for us. And the third idea is one which most of us, including me, desperately need, and that's calm. By fostering connection and cooperation with our gardens, there is a natural tendency toward calm. We can stop forcing and controlling and start observing nature and learning from her. Every day that I can, I sneak a visit outside to see all my buddies, and I just watch them, working, eating, making their nests. My garden has become such a source of calm.
Could you guys chew any louder?
When something goes wrong in the garden, it's still frustrating.
Susan, stop eating my asters.
But I'm not striving for perfection anymore. My goals for my garden have become much deeper than what I can see with my eyes. And that saves me from stressing so much about my very regular failures. My goal now is to feed as much wildlife as I can and to soak up their company when I'm blessed with it. Any steps I can make toward that, no matter how imperfect, give me a sense of hope and something to look forward to. These have been simple changes, but they've changed everything about gardening for me. And it's a joy again. One of my favorite ways to foster connection to nature and my ecosystem is to find local plants at risk of being destroyed and welcome them into my garden. To see how I'm doing that, watch this video next.
They're really fluffy.
That is kind of fluffy. You see how it's got black and white spots on its body?
No, but guess what happened to guess what Dragon dreamed while she was sleeping?
What'd she dream?
It was about when she saw a butterfly
She did see a butterfly?
and it landed on her hand.
Really?
And then when it flew off the hand and flew onto her nose.
Onto her nose? That sounds like a really special dream.
But even one of them.
It was a monarch butterfly?
Look at that butterfly! That butterfly has a brown and a white stripe on it.
That's called a skipper.
Wow, look at him.
Oh yes, look. Yeah, that's called a skipper. Look at its big eyeballs.
Wow.
Look at those bumblebees right there too.
Wow. I think we should get away from here because some bumblebees are going to sting us.
Gonna sting us? Well, I don't think they want to sting us, but we can still get away from here. Leave them to their lunch.